So moving forward, college, what was that like for you? What was that experience? Did you always know that you wanted to be a CEO?
Absolutely not. I didn't know what a CEO was when I was going to college and things of that sort. I mean, you hear about, businesses or whatever, but, I was just happy to graduate high school and be alive, things like that, just based on my background. And, going to college, I decided to go to junior college and, try to, kind of find my way. I wasn't sure what I wanted to be. There was a lot of different things that I thought, had potential, but you start learning really quickly that it doesn't come easy trying to find out what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to be, what is your, purpose in life. And so, I did know that I liked how things operated and how things came together. And I started to slowly begin to be drawn toward, more operations types things, how do things function? And I don't know where that started from, but, I always used to like to draw coming up. I used to like how, things worked, about the body, about, just how things move and work and why things work. And that turned into a love for operations. And I started seeing everything has an input, a process, and an output. So what is this whole thing about? Thought I wanted to be an engineer till I put a hard hat on and went out with someone on a tractor. And I said, this is not me. I need to be in an office somewhere for sure. But I found that this operations field allowed me to have some of the engineering, architectural type of vibe. But I liked business too, and money and how, products and services and all of that. So it kind of allowed me to put the two together and having a business degree in operations emphasis. So that kind of evolved. And again, at this time, not thinking anything about being a CEO, just loving operations and wanting to do something that allowed me to use those skills.
Really good. I'm thinking along that journey, you had to have people to talk to about thinking about being an engineer, about this. How important was that in your?
Well, that's kind of interesting. I really can't point to one mentor that I feel just really shaped me or pushed me from a business or professional perspective. I had a lot of mentors as a person, to, maybe motivate me to be a better person, whether that was, people in society, ministers, or people that I felt were good people, I love studying Dr. King and Gandhi and some of those men and things that they did. That inspired me. People who came through struggle and I like reading their writings and things of that sort. But there was not really a person that I could say I looked to. I was definitely an athlete. I loved basketball. I was a big viewer of Michael Jordan and watching how he played. I grew up in a time where the Bulls were on top of the world. So I loved competition. I loved sports. I loved all of that, but not really. And all those things motivated me to, and even achieving in basketball and in sports, it showed me that when I applied my mind to something, that I could do things that I didn't know I could do, and that I could achieve at a high level of success that I know I could. So I think it was a mixture of, all of that kind of mentored me to be excellent, not so much to be in business or operations or college, but to just be excellent. And I think going back to my childhood, I would draw from that when I was going to school to say, I just had an internal strength because of the things I had been through. So, when you go to class and you start meeting new challenges, I didn't realize I had a lot of substance in me because of things that had come through. It just kind of gives you a foundation and kind of an internal strength that you can draw from in whatever you're trying to do. And so I would have to say that I was kind of someone who learned as he went, and was mentored by life, was mentored by situations, was mentored by mistakes, mentored by successes. And that, kind of became a mentor. And that's not to take away from anyone that did great things that was around me, but I didn't really see anyone as like a one or two mentors that said, you know, Michael, here's what you should do. Here's the path to follow. But I am thankful for the experiences that life taught me, and that eventually, as I begin to go, I begin to grow.
That's really good. Sounds like you could have been in the NBA. You like basketball.
I have to believe. If you let me tell it, I definitely feel I could have gave them some run for their money if I stayed on that path. But I decided to really, you know, not put, you know, all of my heart and soul into that, because, you know, you could see that all of that can come to an end, one injury and it's over. I wanted to do more. And so, you know, I end up being able to play sports and be in private leagues and things like that, but keep my focus on school and education. And in the end, I'm glad I did.